is inside me. It's still there. What if it happens again? I killed someone.
We need help! Help! I need help!
Anyone see anything?
Hiding every night from those things, that's one thing. This is something that people are gonna have to blame someone for.
I feel like something wants me to go in here. We can go in together if you want. Ready?
From season 3, episode 8 is about to get real juicy. It looks like we're finally gonna get some payoff, some huge moments in the plot, all the things we've all been asking for. Now, before we talk about all these spoilers that I'm about to talk about, I have to talk about my last video. It did extremely well, and a lot of people are in the comments really liking my theories. I will be posting all more in-depth separate videos on different theories coming soon. But I do want to say that, number one, I'm being accused of knowing spoilers that I have no idea even what the spoilers look like. I obviously know that there are spoilers on Reddit and some people's YouTube comments, whatever. I have not experienced that. I have actively stayed away from that because I like seeking out the answers. I like, watching the show to see what the show tells us. I do not want to know what the show actually ends up doing. I like talking about what I think it's going to do. But being accused of knowing the spoilers because I'm so on the nose makes me feel great. Makes me really think I'm doing a great job. So with that being said, this specific video is going to be spoilers on probably what happens in the next episode. But like any episode, they wouldn't give us everything that's going to happen in the episode. So if you don't want any spoilers for the next episode, don't watch this video. But I don't know the future of the show. I make my theories and my breakdowns based off of just what you're seeing as well, based off of things that I've gone back in previous seasons and remembered, based off of literally just like you guys being on the internet trying to figure out what different things mean, watching other people's channels and coming up with theories and coming up with things that I believe are true. So with that being said, watch this video if you want spoilers for episode 8. If you don't, stay tuned and I'll be posting more videos on all the different theories based off of what we've already seen on this show. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, based off of this trailer, what I'm about to talk about, and the episode stills, that this is going to be a spoiler-ridden video. So if you don't want spoilers on what's going to actually happen in the next episode, don't watch now. Starting with number 1, what is going to happen with Fatima. Now, we see her and Ellis. It looks like they're going to go on the run. They're going to try to get up out of here. Their bags are literally packed. You can see them in the shop. And then at some point along the way, Elgin's going to figure out that they're running. I believe they're going to go to that wooden cabin that's in the woods that we saw in season 2 with Boyd. They're going to go there. They're going to try to hide there. And Elgin is going to find them somehow. I'm assuming through the Polaroids probably and through the ghost herself telling Elgin where they are. And Elgin is going to go convince Fatima to come with him, probably telling her something that's untrue about how he can help her, whatever he's going to say to her to get her to go with him, and is going to take her down to the bunker where the ghost lady will be waiting to take Fatima. Now, I've talked to you guys in the last episode about how I saw all of this coming, how 2 episodes ago, I knew Elgin was going to be sent to go get Fatima and that the ghost lady was after Fatima. Fatima is probably still pregnant with some sort of like ghost child thing or whatever. This ghost is an abume that feeds off of the death during childbirth, and I believe that that is what the storyline is going to go. Hopefully Fatima survives this process. However, I have to believe that Fatima doesn't survive this process. But does this process turn Fatima into a monster? I don't know. I don't believe it's going to turn her into a monster, but something in me is just not wanting to let that theory go. So I don't think she's going to turn into a monster. I think she's just going to die through this process, and she's going to be one of the other major deaths we get during season 3. But she could also just turn into a monster, which I guess technically is still a death, but still be a part of the show in some way, shape, or form. Now, a few things I want to point out about this shot in particular. It is such a short shot that goes by so fast in the trailer, but it is so important. Number one, Fatima might be gone. The monster got its hands on her, so it might be cut, might be curtains for Fatima's character. But again, hoping it's not. Now, one incredibly small detail that could mean everything and could mean nothing are the candles that are lit up in the back. Clearly, Elgin had prepared this space for when Fatima was going to end up being there. The candles behind are lit. I had looked up yellow candles specifically because they were all over the show, specifically in the church in the town, but now we're seeing them also in this bunker. And what I believe is happening here is that yellow candles have a huge significance, especially in the church. Who do we know has a huge church background as well? Elgin, but these candles were there before he got there, right? But the significance of yellow candles in the church is that they're not just old candles and they're not just oil candles, which is what I thought, but actually yellow candles specifically represent the candles that are lit in the Catholic Church for the dead. That has to be really important. It's hinting at something, foreshadowing something at base, but might mean a lot more throughout the rest of the show. So pay attention now from here on out when you see yellow candles in the background of certain shots. The other thing about the shot that stands out is this baby mobile that is hanging over them that you can barely see. That is the baby mobile that Elgin made for Fatima. What that is that it's the thing that hangs over cribs that now in current culture, current day, is just usually like something fun, something very childlike that distracts the baby, helps the baby fall asleep, all of those things. But baby mobiles are actually something that has been around for centuries. Back in ancient civilization, it was common to hang items such as shells, toys, or even talismans above a cradle in order to have some sort of spiritual or cultural significance. So again, this probably says way more than we're even seeing. The fact that it's made out of a tree, I don't think is any coincidence. I think that the fact that some of the things on it, including a pearl necklace, not a coincidence. Where have we seen pearls? On the ballerina, on Abby, on Back to the Bus Lady, and the pearl earrings that Victor showed us from the lady who passed away from his cycle. All things that I think are connecting different people from different cycles. Again, all of this, what does it mean? We don't freaking know, but there's a lot of things that are very clearly like hinting at each other, and all things are connected. So again, this thing is not coincidence at all. I believe that the monster actually told Elgin to make this thing. I don't even think he made it off of his own volition. I think the thing told him to make this thing. And I think that it probably has a lot more significance than we even realize to what is going on with Fatima. But it confirms that something is about to be given birth to. What? We don't know. Now we see that everyone is probably also going to be looking for Fatima and Ellis. There's no hiding. They probably understand who did this. They know Fatima's been tripping. They know they've been trying to get rid of her anyways. And now we're seeing that, according to Donna, there's not going to be anywhere to run. They're not going to let Boyd get off with trying to make sure that nobody touches them like he did with Sarah or with the cop. They're ready to hold someone accountable for killing somebody in this town. It's been too many deaths. And unfortunately, Fatima is the one that's going to be held accountable if they even get to her before what happens. We'll see what happens. Now let's get right into the Julie storyline. She's about to make a big mistake. She brings her younger brother of all people to go back to these ruins. Now her, Randall, and Marielle have no idea what these ruins actually are. They don't even know that this is where these cicadas came from. And she's going to make the mistake of going back to investigate why this place is calling her back. Now, of course, spoilers at this point. She's going to get trapped again. She's going to go down back into this area that Boyd was in, that we now can determine from the episode stills is actually below ground. She's in the tunnels that are very clearly the same tunnels the creatures are in that go underneath the entire town, which we might even be able to assume go underneath the entire entity of Fromville. There's tunnels throughout the entire place, caves throughout the entire place that are underneath everything that's happening in From, potentially even all the way to the village. if they go underground, is this cavern still there? Even though we think that they're going into the past, is it really like actually a place that is still there and still existing right now? Now we see that Ethan is going to escape somehow. However, he's dirty, so something happened, and he's going to go back to the town. He's going to go get Kenny, and he's going to go get Acosta because they happen to be together, and they're going to go try to save Julie. We see that they get back and maybe don't even have to save Julie. Maybe she got out on her own. Who knows what actually happens in detail, but she's probably unleashed hell. The cicadas will be back. This monster, this big bad, will be back and will be affecting the town now that it has been agitated again. In my opinion, the cicadas never left, right? The cicadas have always been in the background. We saw that through Randall. We saw that through Julie's screams and all these things, but it was basically like lying dormant because Boyd destroyed the music box. So now we're going to see what happens when they agitate the nest again. Now let's talk about these stills with Julie and Randall. Now obviously I believe Julie went to Randall before she went back to the ruins with Ethan. Even though the stills are in the wrong order, I believe that this probably happened before, and she actually went to Randall first to talk about going back, what they felt and what Randall thinks, and if Randall will go back with her. Obviously he's not going to because he already knows this is trouble. I believe that in some way he knows that this is connected to what happened to them, and that he is not saying everything that he has seen and knows, which is why he's going around asking other people what they have seen and what they have known. Another detail is that if you look on this table, he is crafting wood things again. As we saw in earlier episodes, Randall is crafting wood faces that Boyd found that look a lot like the things in the village. None of this is a coincidence. I do believe it is all connected in some way. The last storyline we get to now see before the episode comes out is Victor, Tabitha, and Sarah. So now we're going to see that Victor is going to go to Tabitha as well about Jasper and about Jasper needing to tell him a story that he told Christopher a long time ago about him seeing Jasper talk by himself and telling this story that is probably super important to what From actually is, or what is going on in the town, or at least what happened in Victor's cycle. We see that he also takes Sarah and Tabitha down to this basement. Now, I have not seen anyone else talk about this, but I have to point this out, that this basement is important for so many reasons, but the number one reason being, this is obviously the basement Christopher was actually in. That was something I picked up on in the vision that Victor had of Christopher, was that they were quite literally in a basement. They were downstairs. I believe that this basement, based off of a rewatch, is the basement to the church. I believe. Don't quote me on that. It could be the basement to literally any house in the town, but I believe it's the basement in the church. It looked like it from back when Sarah was in the basement in the church as well. Now, this is all important because not only is this the place that Victor saw Jasper talk to Christopher, but why is everything in a basement now? Think about it. The root cellar related to the lady in the kimono that we now know is an Abume, that is where Fatima is being taken by Elgin. Now we know that now we know that the cicadas, Martin, the music box where Boyd was, are underground and connected to the tunnels. What are these tunnels? The tunnels that the monsters sleep in. What else do we know is now connected to these basements? Jasper's storyline with Christopher. What else have we seen related to the basement? Tabitha's entire storyline of when she dug underneath the ground and ended up in those tunnels, and all these other things are all connected to what's underneath the ground. Like Victor has said himself, what does that really mean? I think we're about to find out in the next episode.
We have to go in the basement. Up here is for daytime stories. The basement's for secrets.